speeches that we've done from.
Hello, hi, I'm Jenny. Nice to meet you.
Though the Sikhs comprised only 2% of the population of India, in the First World War, 22% of the Indian army serving the British were Sikhs. In the Second World War, 83,000 Sikhs died and 100,000 wounded. Were it not for the Sikhs, India might not have been independent today, and certainly the Indian culture could not have been preserved without the help of the Sikhs. Today's display at the Sunderland Museum is of the dastaar boonga, or the fortress turban, worn by a group of skilled warrior Sikhs called Akali-Nihang, which protected the head in battle, comprising of the original weapons including daggers, swords, metal throwing discs secured on the replica indigo-dyed turban. Councillor Stuart Porthouse, the Mayor of Sunderland, thank you for allowing us to film you, sir. What brings you here today?
Well, it's an invitation to come along to this event to represent the people of Sunderland, because Sunderland and the Sikh community work very closely together. And as the Mayor of Sunderland, I represent the city and the inhabitants of the city. So it's an invitation to come along today to launch this very important event.
It's a beautiful thing you've done, because I'm very close to the Sikh community, though I'm not one myself.
All right.
They're very active and they're very open-hearted. That's what I find, at least. I'm not a Sikh, and yet I find them being kind of accepting of everyone. Mm-hmm. And that is what I like best, and that's why I'm here.
Good, that's good.
Thank you.
Because I mean, Sunderland is a diverse city.
Yes.
I mean, we have lots of different religions and lots of different people.
It is.
And our job as councillors and city leaders is to get all the communities to work together.
Yes, yes.
And that's one of the good things that we're going to do today.
Thank you.
Last few guests.
Jenny, you're on camera finally.
Hello, hi.
Everyone mentions that it's the hard work of Jenny that got it all together. How is that? You're the
I
what?
can't take all the credit.
But take some of it.
Well, I work with the learning programme, so I put together the community links, work with partners, and we've had a lot of support from the Oriental Museum in Durham.
In Durham.
So they're doing a project about the South Asia galleries, so we've worked collaboratively and we've made links with communities, so that's how this day's come to happen.
Well, I'll give you my card, keep me informed, because I'll come to every one of them, because what you're doing is absolutely fabulous.
Excellent, thank you very much.
Thank you. Vic. Hi Vic.
Hello.
Nice to catch you. Tell me, what brings you here? You really organized this whole episode.
Well,
Where did the inspiration come from?
Well, I found out about the Sikh Fortress Turban about a year ago that the British Museum were going to tour it. And it just so happened that Sunderland Museum and Winter Gardens were also thinking about it at the same time. And so it's a great opportunity to celebrate Sikh culture, Sikh tradition, Sikh faith within the North East really. So hopefully people from across the North East will come to see a fantastic exhibition. We're really looking forward to the young people from various the Newcastle Gurdwara and the Sikh Gurdwara in Sunderland to celebrate their culture and to sing some Shabbats later on this afternoon. And it's a great opportunity to sort of, to celebrate.
Just keep me posted, because I think what you're doing is absolutely wonderful. It is absolutely stupendous that you can not only combine the Gurdwaras together, you can combine all faiths together and the whole of the Northeast. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for supporting.
We have Harvinder Kaur Bara from the British Museum. Tell me, what does it feel like bringing the turban all the way to Sunderland and several places like that?
It's so exciting. For us, it's such a joy when we can see objects travel across the UK so that they can be seen by communities across the UK. It's just wonderful. There's many people that can't make their way to London, and it's a shame that they miss out. So if we can bring the objects to them, it means that they are able to engage and access an object that they wouldn't be able to otherwise, and they're able to connect to an object that would otherwise be out of their reach. So I think it's not only a great joy that we can do that, but I think as a British Museum, as a national museum, it's a responsibility that we make our collection as accessible, as as possible and make that reach as wide as possible. It's incredibly important that everyone can access the British Museum's collection, not just those that live in London.
Thank you for bringing London to the northeast.
You're welcome. You're so welcome.
चीमा साहब आप तुसी बोलो कि ये आपने कैसे ऑर्गेनाइज किया, इतना ब्यूटीफुल ओकेजन आपने कैसे किया?
ये जो सनलैंड म्यूजियम ने उसके थ्रू होया है, सारा कुछ होया है।
हाँ जी।
ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਲੋਕਲ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੇ, ਸਾਰੇ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹਦੀ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਕੀਤੀ ਆ।
ਬਿਊਟੀਫੁਲ।
ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਟਰਬਨ ਆ ਆਪਣੇ ਵਰਲਡ ਵਾਰ ਫਸਟ ਤੋਂ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਇਹ ਲਿਆਏ ਆ ਔਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਲਿਆ ਕੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਸੰਭਾਲੀ ਆ ਔਰ ਉਹਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੁਣ ਡਿਸਪਲੇ ਆ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੁਣ ਰੱਖਾ ਆ।
ये जो सिख कौम है ना, हम उसको इम्पोर्टेंस उतना नहीं देते हैं, न ब्रिटिश उतना देते हैं जितना देना चाहिए। 9 out of 10 soldiers that died, Indian soldiers, were Sikhs.
Yeah, because there is this official record, 60,000 Sikh died in the World War First and Two.
To support the British.
Yeah, under army, and 109,000 injured in there.
Wow.
And there is a plus Sikh mean lot of other Sikh uncounted for it, but these are we talking about the counted ones.
हाँ.
So that's a lot of people doesn't understand. But I'm grateful for the Sunderland Museum who done hard work to bring this turban
All the way from British Museum.
British Museum, and I hope they worked harder, and we really, behalf of the Sunderland Sikh community, be proud of it, and we hopefully everybody come and see what turban means.
I'm very, very honored to be with you.
Thank
sir.
you very
Thank
much.
you very much. सरदार जी आपका शुभ नाम क्या है?
मेरा नाम है चैन सिंह गिल है।
आप क्या सोचते हैं इस एग्जीबिशन के बारे में?
जो एग्जीबिशन जो लगी है हमें बहुत ही खुशी महसूस होती है और नॉर्थ ईस्ट में जो पहला एग्जीबिशन हुआ है, जो जेनी है, जो लड़की जिसने ऑर्गेनाइज किया है, हम उसको बहुत बहुत शुक्रगुजार हैं। हम उसको बहुत थैंक यू जेनी ने किया। और हमारी जो लड़की हम अपनी मिसेज कालू हैं और कुलविंदर कौर है, उन्होंने बहुत ही हार्ड वर्क किया है, बहुत सख्त मेहनत की है और हम नॉर्थ ईस्ट में बहुत इसका प्राउड करते हैं, बहुत ही लकी समझे अपने आप।
कैसे हैं?
ठीक है, चढ़तियाँ खिला के
कितने खुशी की बात है कि आप आए हुए हो। इट मस्ट बी वेरी इमोशनल फॉर यू, है ना? गुरु की बात है।
Ladies and gentlemen and children, welcome to the Art Gallery at Sunderland Museum and Winter Gardens. My name is Jenny Lambert, I'm the Learning Officer here, and I'm delighted to welcome you all here today. I'm now going to hand over to the Right Worshipful, the Mayor of Sunderland, Councillor Stuart Porthouse, to say the welcome.
Thank you, Jenny. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and obviously honoured guests that have come along today. It gives me great pleasure to be here with you today to welcome the Sikh Fortress Turban to Sunderland. This historic object is here at the Sunderland Museum in Winter Gardens as part of the British Museum's National Spotlight Tour programme. And I believe from here I've just been told it goes across to somewhere called Preston in the west of the country. But well done that you've come to Sunderland. Harvinder Bara, the Community Programmes Coordinator from the British Museum, is here to say a few words about the turban and its importance in just a few moments. Before she does so, as Mayor of Sunderland, I would like to thank the members of the Sikh community of Sunderland and the North East who have supported the museum staff over the past few months in putting together the community display and the accompanying events and activities programme. Thanks to Mr Chairman, Kelly Purewall, the committee, volunteers and families from Sunderland Gurdwara. Thanks to Jaswinder Singh, Juhar Singh, Sohan Singh and Satinder Kaur from Newcastle Gurdwara. Please accept my apologies if I haven't pronounced those exactly right. I have been practicing this morning. Also thanks to Lorraine Barnes and the team at Oriental Museum Durham and to Viskas Kumar from Gem Arts for all their help and support. I'm now going to hand over to Harvinder Bara from the British Museum to say a few words about the Sikh Fortress Turban and the Spotlight Tour. And I'd like to thank you all for coming along today. Thank you very much.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It is so exciting to see the turban here in Sunderland and such a great turnout by the Sikh community. That is so wonderful to welcome the turban to Sunderland. And it gets me thinking, what an amazing journey this turban is on. And it's a journey that started many, many, many years ago, in the late 1800s, when the turban made its way from India all the way to England. It made its way in the late 1800s, and it was recorded as being given to Bankerton House in 1894 by Lieutenant Colonel Sawyer as a Sikh headdress. And we know that it was displayed in Bankerton House in London in 1900 for an exhibition called Relics of Old War. And the oldest image that we have of the turban is from that exhibition. Then soon after, it made its way into the British Museum's collections, where it stayed comfortably in storage until 2011, when a group of museum staff, including myself, all really keen to highlight the museum's collection of Sikh objects, put forward a proposal to display the turban at the museum for the very first time. And that resulted in a really, really unique display. But little did we know that actually it would set into motion a journey that we're still on 3 years later. Because shortly after, in 2012, the British Museum was lucky enough to be awarded the Art Fund. And the museum decided to use the Art Fund to send a number of museum objects on tour across the UK. And the Sikh Fortress Turban was one of the objects that was offered, and it became the most requested object for a UK tour ever. So it's a real privilege that it's here. And it's resulted in a tour that sees it visit 7 cities across the UK in over 2 years. So quite an impressive tour, and makes me think it's probably becoming more well-travelled than I am. The aim of the Art Fund Spotlight Tour was to enable UK museums to highlight Sikh history and culture in their collections themselves. It was allowing them to explore the importance of the turban as a symbol of identity and an article of faith, both in the past but also in the present, as we can see here in front of us. And most importantly, I think for me, it was to encourage museums to engage with their Sikh community, to build partnerships with their Sikh community. So I would really, really like to congratulate Sunderland on what is a truly wonderful exhibition that realises all of these aims so fully. You've done a wonderful job, a really wonderful job. I'd like to thank Sunderland, and I'd like to thank all our national partners that have contributed to the Spotlight Tour of the Sikh Fortress Turban. It's been a real privilege to work with you. I hope you enjoy having the turban here in Sunderland, and that's it. Enjoy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce the children of Sunderland Gurdwara, who are going to say the Mool Mantra, a special prayer. Thank you.
This is also first Bani of morning with him. It begins with the Mool Mantra. We can recite Mool Mantra as many times during the day as much as possible. Now we are going to recite the part 5 times. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Ekar Satnam Karta Purkh Nirvaw Nirvair Akal Murkh Ajuni Sarvan Gur Prasad Jap Aaj Sach Juaaz Sach Hari Sach Nanak Hosi Ji Sach Ekar Satnam Karta Purkh Nirvaw Nirvair Akal Murkh Ajuni
We are now going to recite the movement then. We are going to recite it in English. And we are going to recite it in Punjabi. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Ek Omkar, there is only one God. Satnam, truth is His name. Karta Purakh, He is the Creator. Nirpal, He is without fear. Nirvair, He is without hate. Akal Murad, He is immortal without form. Ajuni, He is beyond birth and death. Sarvam, He is self-illuminated. Guru Prasad, He is realized by the kindness of the true Guru. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Bole Sonehal.
Thank you very much for your words. Can I invite everyone now to come down to the Jack Crawford room, where we have a special Sikh Turban Family Day, and to welcome some more visitors. Thank you very much.
As Mayor of Sunderland, it gives me great pleasure to be here with you today to welcome the Sikh Fortress Turban of Sunderland and to start a day of family fun and activities to celebrate its arrival. This historic object is here at Sun Museum in Winter Gardens as part of the British Museum's National Spotlight Tour programme. You can see the turban and a community display of Sikh objects in the art gallery on level 2 until Sunday the 16th of November. Please do spread the word among your friends and families and encourage them to come. I've got a meeting with my 3 schools where I'm a governor in Sunderland, and I should be making sure that the heads of the 3 schools contact the museum to make sure that they bring some of the children along from those 3 schools. So I hope that gets done before the exhibition finishes in November. Havanda Bara, the community programmes coordinator from the British Museum, is here to say a few words about the turban and its importance in just a few moments. Before she does, I would like to thank the members of the Sikh community of Sunderland and the North East who have supported the museum staff over the past few months in putting together the community display and the accompanying events and activities programmes. Thanks to Mr. Chema, who is over there. He's over there. Thanks to Mr. Chema, Kelly Purewall, the committee, volunteers and families from the Sunderland Gurdwara. Thanks to Jaswinder Singh, Juhar Singh, Soham Singh and Satinder Kaur from Newcastle Gurdwara. And I do apologise if I don't get that exactly right. I have been practising. I'd also like to thank Lauren Barnes and the team at Oriental Museum Durham, to Mrs. Gura and the Sikh Children's Choir, and to Vikas Kumar from Gem Arts for all their help and support. And finally, thanks to the museum staff for putting together the displays and the events and activities programme to support the Sikh Fortress Turban. I'm now going to hand over to Harvinder Bara from the British Museum to say a few words about the Sikh Fortress Turban and the Spotlight Tour, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you very much for coming.
Good morning everyone, and Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. It's wonderful to see such a great turnout by the Sikh community this morning to welcome the turban to Sunderland. It shows just how excited you all are. And it gets me thinking what an amazing journey this turban is on. And it's a very long journey that started many years ago, in the late 1800s, when the turban made its way from India all the way to England. And it's recorded as being displayed at Banqueting House in 1894 as an exhibition called Relics of Old War. We know it was then displayed in 1900 at Banqueting House, and the oldest image that we have of that turban comes from that exhibition. Soon after, it made its way into the British Museum's collection, where it kind of stayed there quite comfortably, steeping in storage in 2011, when a group of museum staff, including myself, all really keen to highlight the Sikh objects within our collection, put forward a proposal to display the turban at the museum for the very first time. And that exhibition was really unique for us in many, many ways. But we didn't know then that it would set into motion an incredible journey that the turban is still on now, 3 years later. But shortly after, in 2012, the British Museum was awarded the Art Fund. And it decided to use the fund to send many objects across, on tour across the UK. The Sikh Fortress Turban was one of those objects that was offered to museums, and it became the most requested object ever for a UK tour, so it's really special that it's here. And it's a tour that results in it travelling to 7 locations across the UK in over 2 years, so it's quite an impressive tour. The aim of the Art Fund Spotlight Tour was to enable museums to highlight Sikh history and culture for themselves in their collections, to explore the importance of the turban as a symbol of identity and an article of faith in both the present and the past, as you're doing today with your Family Day. And also to encourage the museum to build strong partnerships with its Sikh community. So I'd like to congratulate Sunderland Museums on what is truly a wonderful job well done. It's a wonderful exhibition, wonderful engagement with the Sikh community. I'd like to thank Sunderland Museums and all the national partners who have contributed to the Spotlight Tour. It's been a real privilege to work with you, and I hope you enjoy having the turban in your city, and I hope you enjoy your day. Thank you very much. Thank you.
It now gives me great pleasure to introduce the children of the Sunderland Gurdwara, who will now say the Mool Mantra prayer. Thank you.
Japji Sahib is written by our first Guru, Shri Guru Nanak Dev Ji. It is also first Vani of morning nickname. It begins with Mool Mantra. We can recite Mool Mantra as many times during the day as much as possible. Now we are going to recite the part 5 times. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Ek Onkar Satnam Karta Purukh Nirbhav Nirvair Akal Murad Ajuni Sahibam Gur Prasad Jap Ad Sach Jagat Sach and be such, Nanak Hosi be such, Ek Onkar Satnam Karta Purukh Nirbhav Nirvair Akal Murad Ajuni Sahibam Gur Prasad Jap Ad Sach Jagat Sach and be such, Nanak Hosi be such, Ek Onkar Satnam Karta Purukh Nirbhav Nirvair Akal Murad Ajuni Sahibam Gur Prasad Jap Ad Sach Jagat Sach and be such, Nanak Hosi be such, Ek Onkar Satnam Karta Purukh Nirbhav Nirvair Akal Murad Ajuni Sahibam Gur Prasad Jap Ad Sach Jagat Sach and be such, Nanak Hosi be such, Ek Onkar Satnam Karta Purukh Nirbhav Nirvair Akal Murad Ajuni Sahibam Gur Prasad Jap Ad Sach Jagat Sach and be such, Nanak Hosi be such. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Shri Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
We are now going to recite the Mool Mantra. We are going to recite it into English. And we are going to recite it in Punjabi. Vaheguru Ji Ka
Khalsa, Shri Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
In true gods, there is only one God. Satnam, truth is his name. Karta, he is the creator. Nirbhau, he is without fear. Nirvair, he is without hate. Akal Murad, he is immortal without form. Ajuni, he is beyond birth and death. Sarvam, he is self-illuminated. Prasad, he is realized by the kindness of the true Guru.
Bole Sonehal
Thank you to all the children and to the families from Sunderland and Warren. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce Mrs. Khera and the children from the Newcastle Sikh choir. Thank you very much.
Lord Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me a great pleasure to have been here, and thank you to the Sunderland Museum and also to Gateshead Art, the people who are there in Gateshead who actually have asked us to come here, and it's a great pleasure to be here. This, especially in Gateshead, Bahar Singh Ji and Vikas, they're always bringing a lot of the communities together, which is a very good thing, because sometimes it helps us when we learn about the other religions as well as our own. The children are going to sing as a hymn. First they're going to do Simran, then they're going to sing a hymn, Koi Bole Ram Ram, Koi Khudai, Koi Seve Gusaiya, Koi Allah. Because this hymn was recited by the fifth Guru, Guru Arjan Dev Ji, who actually compiled the Sikh Fortress. And in this hymn, he says, because our Guru Nanak Dev Ji said there is only one God, Ek Onkar. So the hymn goes on to say that some people worship Allah, some Ram, as we do by you, because they're just different names. But there is only one God. Some of us wear white when we pray. Some of us wear navy blue. Some of us wear orange colors. But we are still praying to the one God. And this hymn goes on and on to explain that there is only one God, although it differs because we pray in a different sort of way. We pray to one God, but we call him in different names. So the children will sing this hymn as well for you all. I'm really quite pleased to see the children from Sunderland. In fact, Beta, you did very well, because some of you are very small, as I can see. I know how difficult it is to handle young children. As you see, my children are very young. I've been doing this actually for 40 years. I've taught their parents, and I've got them. And some people say, can I put my grandchild on? And I think, what makes you think I'm going to be here? But it's a great pleasure for me to teach the children. I love teaching Kirtan. They actually know all about the Sikhism, Baniyas, who recites them, who does Guru Granth Sahib, what are we supposed to be praying to. It's very important for all the children to know the basics. In fact, some of the children, as you see, the older ones, are on now reading the Sri Guru Granth Sahib. They've done Sej Part, they're on, they once did a Khand Part with me. I do go through camps where they do Sej Part, a Khand Part. We've just finished a camp, I've just finished a camp, and these children Now, a lot of them can do asai work. They can't go about asai work. They have to recite, how to sing. These sort of things, I'm very proud that a lot of the Gurdwaras are keeping work. And it's necessary for our children to keep it that way. And I'm grateful for people who actually at the museum bring all these glorious turbans so that we can have a look. In fact, I'm dying to see them all. It's a great pleasure again to be here, and I shall ask the children now to sing the hymn. First, simple. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa,
Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Vaheguru, Vaheguru,
I mean, Sunderland is a diverse city.
Yes.
I mean, we have lots of different religions and lots of different people.
It is.
And our job as councillors and city leaders is to get all the communities to work together.
Yes, yes.
And that's one of the good things that we're going to do today.
Thank you. Jenny, you're on camera finally.
Hello, hi.
Everyone mentions that it's the hard work of Jenny that got it all together. How is that? You're the what?
I can't take all the credit.
But take some of it.
Well, I work with the learning programme, so I put together the community links, work with partners, and we've had a lot of support from the Oriental Museum in Durham.
In Durham.
So they're doing a project about the South Asia galleries, so we've worked collaboratively and we've made links with community, so that's how this day's come to happen.
Well,
So
I'll
very
give you my
delighted.
card, keep me informed, because I'll come to every one of them, because what you're doing is absolutely fabulous.
Excellent, thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. Vic. Hi Vic.
Hello.
Nice to catch you. Tell me, what brings you here? You really organized this whole episode. Where did the inspiration come from?
Well, when I found out about the Sikh Fortress Turban about a year ago, that the British Museum were going to tour it, and it just so happened that Sunderland Museum and Winter Gardens were also thinking about it at the same time. And so it's a great opportunity to celebrate Sikh culture, Sikh tradition, Sikh faith within the North East really. So hopefully people from across the North East will come to see a fantastic exhibition. We're really looking forward to the young people from various the Newcastle Gurdwara and the Sikh Gurdwara in Sunderland to celebrate their culture and to sing some Shabbats later on this afternoon. And it's a great opportunity to sort of, to celebrate.
Just keep me posted, because I think what you're doing is absolutely wonderful. It is absolutely stupendous that you can not only combine the Gurdwaras together, you can combine all faiths together and the whole of the Northeast. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for supporting.
We have Harvinder Kaur Bara from the British Museum. Tell me, what does it feel like bringing the turban all the way to Sunderland and several places like that?
It's so exciting. For us, it's such a joy when we can see objects travel across the UK so that they can be seen by communities across the UK. It's just wonderful. There's many people that can't make their way to London, and it's a shame that they miss out. So if we can bring the objects to them, it means that they are able to engage and access an object that they wouldn't be able to otherwise, and they're able to connect to an object that would otherwise be out of their reach. So I think it's not only a great joy that we can do that, but I think as a British Museum, as a national museum, it's a responsibility that we make our collection as accessible as possible and make that reach as wide as possible. It's
Though the Sikhs comprised only 2% of the population of India, in the First World War, 22% of the Indian army serving the British were Sikhs. In the Second World War, 83,000 Sikhs died and 100,000 wounded. Were it not for the Sikhs, India might not have been independent today, and certainly the Indian culture could not have been preserved without the help of the Sikhs. Today's display at the Sunderland Museum is of the dastaar boonga, or the fortress turban, worn by a group of skilled warrior Sikhs called Akali-Nihang, which protected the head in battle, comprising of the original weapons including daggers, swords, metal throwing discs secured on the replica indigo-dyed turban.
Councillor Stuart Porthouse, the Mayor of Sunderland, thank you for allowing us to film you, sir. What brings you here today?
Well, it's an invitation to come along to this event to represent the people of Sunderland, because Sunderland and the Sikh community work very closely together. And as the Mayor of Sunderland, I represent the city and the inhabitants of the city. So it's an invitation to come along today to launch this very important event.
It's a beautiful thing you've done, because I'm very close to the Sikh community, though I'm not one myself.
All right.
They're very active and they're very open-hearted. That's what I find, at least. I'm not a Sikh, and yet I find them being kind of accepting of everyone. And that is what I like best, and that's why I'm here.
Good. That's good.
Thank you.